everyone, so this is my everyday foundation routine. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. I haven't done a makeup video in a while, so I hope you guys will enjoy this. This is going to be just a simple look that I do every day. It's this look right here. I do this every day when I go to school, when I go to work, when I go to meetings, or when I just have a day off. I'll do this too because it's my go-to look. It's very simple, very easy to do, and very quick for me to do. I hope you guys enjoy this and stay tuned if you want to get this look. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is pin back my hair. As you can see, my hair is pretty crazy, and I'm just going to put back a couple of clips just to take it out of my face. My face is clean. I have nothing on my skin right now. It's nice and washed, and the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of lip balm on, just like the first thing I normally do. Now I'm going to move on to my eye cream, which is what I do every day. This is the Nutrogena Healthy Skin Eye Cream, which is one of my favorite creams to use. I'm going to take a little bit of that just underneath my eyes. Just nice and... Moving on, I use this every day as well. This is the Clearasil Rapid Action Vanishing Treatment, and it supposedly reduces the size of pimple in 4 hours, which it does. So I use this every day just to reduce some of the swelling or redness around my active acne. So I just put a little bit on my skin. So put that on. While that's soaking up, I just spray a little bit of this, which is the old packaging of the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray. I've learned that to put it on before and after, and it helps a lot. So I just spray a bit of that. I like to make sure that everything really soaks in to my skin before I apply anything else. So while that's soaking in and doing its little thing, because I feel like if I apply any foundation or anything on top of this while it's still not in my skin yet, it'll just move around all of this cream and all the stuff I put on. So I rather let it soak into my skin so it gets the most of its work. So while that's soaking in, I apply a little bit of this Urban Decay eyeshadow priming potion in E. Now I applied a little bit of that Urban Decay primer potion onto my lids, just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. The Eden one does give you a bit of coverage, so it's really nice. On my day-to-day, I go to a lot of places. So I go from work to school to back to school to working out or to meetings. So I'm always all over the place. So I like to look nice and presentable and like to give a nice look and fresh look. Nothing too overdone and nothing too underdone. So just a perfect natural medium look. So to do that, I just use one simple quad, and this is my go-to quad. It's very, very easy to use, and I like it a lot, and it's really inexpensive. This is the NYX eyeshadow combo. It has Aloha, Mink Brown, and Deep Bronze. I really like the shades in this because they're very, very neutral. You have a nice medium tone brown, you have a nice like taupey silvery color, and then you have a really pretty pinky shimmery color. So it covers all your bases, very, very simple. If I don't use this palette, I will use the Too Faced Natural Eye palette, which is pretty much all neutral shades and is really pretty too. But for day-to-day, I'm not gonna lie, this is my go-to palette. If I don't wear this, I don't wear any eyeshadow. So I'm gonna put this on today. The first thing I do when I apply this is I take a flat tapered brush, which is similar to a 252. This is from the old Sigma packaging. And I take a little bit of that with the middle color, which I think is Mink Brown. So just a nice amount of that, just a little bit onto my brush. And I apply it straight to my center lid. And I just pat on that color. Really, really easy. Very, very simple, kind of like foolproof makeup. And I just make sure to get it in my inner corner, on the top inner corner, and on the middle of the lid, just so that it gives a little bit of shimmer to the lid. And I just pack it on. Nice and easy. It's a very pretty taupey nude shade. It doesn't really require much skill. So do the same thing to the other side. I start at the center and just start pulling inward. Really, really simple. Patting along. I'm not sweeping my brush. I'm just patting, doing short patting motions, and what that does is just packs on more color. This is from Eco Tools. It's considered a highlight brush, but I personally like it for the outer crease. So it's a nice round tapered brush that's going to really fit into the socket here. So I use this and take a little bit of this. I use this to take a little bit of this brown shade, and this brown shade is very pigmented, so you don't need a lot, so make sure you tap off the excess. And I take this into my outer corner and just, with my eye open, blend outward like this. Fairly simple, just doing tiny little circular motions on the outer corner of my eye and just blending. And then slowly moving my way inward towards the crease. And what that does, it gives a little bit of definition to the outer corner of my eye. Do the same thing to the other eye. Take a little bit of this product, tap it off. Start at the socket, the outer corner, and just work your way inward, doing a tiny little circle. Really, really simple. Just blending inward slowly, doing like a windshield wiper motion, and continuing to do those little tiny circular motions at the outer corner. It's nice to keep a little towel nearby so you can wipe off any excess. And just kind of work this way into the crease, doing a soft windshield wiper motions, tiny little circles, just to make sure it's nice and even and blended. Occasionally, if I want more concentrated color, I'll take a smaller brush like this. This is the Va Va Voom Smudger by Trish McAvoy. As you can see, it's flat and really, really dense bristles. I take a little bit of this dark brown onto the brush, tap off the excess, and what I'll do is I'll just smudge this across the lower lash line just to give a little bit more color. And what this does, it just creates a little bit more definition on the outer corner. So just smudge it, really simple, just giving a little bit more definition, and you can easily just start to pull upward to give even more. So what you can see the difference, it really did just define that outer corner. Now taking my 252, the same brush I was using for the first color, I'm going to take this last color, which is this light pink, I think it's called Aloha, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that onto the brush, tap off the excess, and just lightly apply that to underneath the brown. Just apply a little bit to the inner corner, and that'll give you a little bit more definition. So for eyeliner, I switch back and forth from liquid to pencil. I either use the MAC Lured It Up Light Pencil. It's a really pretty dark brown with a little bit of shimmer in it, or the Physicians Formula Eye Booster in Blackest Black liquid liner. So depends on my day. If I want more definition, I'll go for the liquid liner, and if I want more of a smudgier, simple look, I'll go for the MAC Lured It Up, which is really pretty. So for today, I'm going to use the MAC Lured It Up because it's very simple and it gives just the amount of smoky definition that I like. So taking this, I'm just going to lightly line my top lid. This pencil does set, so you have to work quickly. So I take another bamboo brush, Eco Tools bamboo brush. This is a smudger one. It's very, very tiny, as you can see. And what I do with that is I just lightly smudge the tops of this liner before it sets. And then I kind of sometimes wing it out a bit. I love this brush. It really does help with smudging. I just kind of pull inward just to smudge it out. And what that does is it gives just the smallest amount of definition with a hint of shimmer. It's very pretty. And that just defines your lashes, your eyeliner, really, really pretty. And I love this color. Once again, that's MAC Lured It Up. It's a really, really pretty dark brown. So now that my skin has completely soaked up all the product and creams I put on, I'm going to apply my foundation. And the foundation I'm using today, which is my go-to foundation for every day, is Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation. I adore this stuff. It is amazing. It works beautifully on my skin and is great for every day. I just love the formulation. So I use the color Medium Ivory. It's a really, really beautiful color. And I take this, I just shake it up a bit, and I just do small amounts onto my face. So I just take a little bit of it and just lightly dab it where I need it. You don't really need much product with this stuff, because a little goes a long way. So now that I look crazy, let's blend out. I'm using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, which is my favorite foundation brush. It is a beautiful, beautiful brush. So moving on, I'm just going to lightly blend outward, starting at my center of my face, and just lightly start to blend. Now you may think, wow, that foundation is way too yellow for you, but the rest of my face and body, like my neck and my chest, are quite yellow, and my face does get quite red. So when I was matching my foundation, I made sure to take into account that my neck area is quite yellow. Whenever you're buying a foundation, make sure you don't match it to your actual face color, but to your neck and chest area, because that is what you're going to be looking at when you complete your look, because it's going to be covering the skin underneath under the skin color underneath your face. So now that this is nicely blending, you can see how easy this product blends out. I'm going to make sure just to blend this down onto my neckline. So there is my foundation, nice and beautiful and set, and it does perfectly match my neckline. So that is that. Moving on to concealer. I use my favorite Select Cover Up by MAC in NC30. This is my favorite concealer for covering blemishes. So I take a little bit on the back of my hand, and that's good. Just this really small amount. You don't need a lot because the product goes a long way. And just lightly tap this onto the areas where I need a little bit of extra help. Make sure you never rely on your foundation to cover up most of your imperfection. That is the job of your concealer. So your foundation is just meant to even out your skin tone and complexion and diminish small amounts of discoloration. So always rely on a good concealer to cover up any heavy-duty acne scars or blemishes or any discoloration. Don't rely on your foundation because that's not its job. Otherwise, you'll be putting way too much foundation on and you will look crazy. So the key to using the Select Cover Up properly is letting it set a bit. If you start blending right away, it doesn't do its job and it doesn't work as well. So you just let it set a little bit. So while this is getting tacky and doing its thing, I use the Clinique Airbrush Concealer in Neutral Fair 04. So just twist a little bit up and apply it underneath your eyes. Very simple. I love this product because it's a light reflecting one and it's just really, really nice. And I think for a while, Lisa Eldridge used this and she has amazing skin. So with that there, I like to just blend this out with the, ta-da, another Real Techniques brush. This is the pointed foundation brush and I like to use this to blend out my under eye concealer. So just lightly pat along. Really, really simple. I love that it's pointed because it gets in all the little nooks and crannies underneath your eye. To blend out this concealer, I'm going to use the Real Techniques buffing brush, which is a great brush to blend out anything. And I just feel like it just gives the best amount of a natural finish. So I'm going to lightly just pat this along. The key to concealing is patting, not blending in circular motions. Occasionally. Most makeup artists will tell you that the key to concealing anything is by patting on. When you go like this, you're moving around the product and you're not letting it cover that area. So make sure when you're applying anything to conceal, you're patting it on. So just kind of nicely, kind of like stippling the product. And it just really conceals everything once it sets. So just lightly, just blend that in. I also like to use this to go underneath the under eyes, just in case there's any mistakes. Just like to use a brush to just blend out everything together and make a nice, seamless canvas. Not so much about eyeshadow or anything else but the foundation. That is my main thing. So for those of you who are like me in the same boat as I am that have a lot of scarring and like to conceal it and have a nice flawless finish, this is a great foundation routine for you. I also have some other videos that you can check out that will also do this, something similar, but using different products obviously. So this is my finished face. It's really, really nice and blended. Everything is like seamless. These products give a great coverage and they just give you a nice seamless finish. Now I'm going to set all of this greatness. So moving on, I like to use the HD High Definition Powder. This is a really great silicone-based powder. I like to apply this with a powder puff. Pressing it on doesn't disturb any of this concealing that I've done. If I was to use a brush and just move around the powder, it would actually disturb all of the concealing I did, and I want to preserve that. So what I'm going to do is just pat this into my powder just a little bit and start patting it on, just nice and lightly. So once again, just doing a little patting motion, not pressing too hard, just lightly patting on. So I'm using the Nars Lauguna bronzer. Everybody uses this. It's a beautiful product. There's nothing really much to say about it. But I use this, which is really important for me, the Trish McAvoy 37 Bronzing Brush. Now, this is very similar to the MAC one, but I've had the MAC one before, and I prefer this one because of the bristles it uses. This is a real haired brush, and I really love that it's nice and domed and creates that perfect little tip at the end. and that tip is key to creating the nice bone structure. So I take this brush and I just lightly get it into my product, tap off any excess, and then lightly just brush this into my hollows. And I love this brush. See how that it easily created that contour. You can find Trish McEvoy brushes online or at your local Trish McEvoy boutique. I think they sell them at Nordstrom and Neiman's, but you can also buy it online. So you saw how quickly that created that contour. It's just really beautiful. I always make sure to blend a little bit down, and I don't forget my ears. Moving on to blush, I use another Trish McEvoy brush. This is the 2B Sheer Blush Brush by Trish McEvoy. Love this brush. Reason being is because it fits perfectly on my cheeks. I have quite round, circle-y cheeks. As you can see, they're really, really puffy. And if I use a brush like this, most of the time it'll just sit on my face. It'll get pretty good, but because this brush is round, because this brush is round and a little bit poofy on the sides, it sits perfectly on my apple, my cheeks. So I love, love this brush. If you guys want, leave me a comment if you want me to do a series about brushes. I think tools like brushes and everything are a big, big, big deal to me. So moving on, I use the Tart Glisten almost every day. These are products I use every day, obviously, because this is my everyday face routine. So Glisten by Tarte is the Amazonian clay blushes. Beautiful. I use a little bit of this onto my brush, and I just lightly pat this on, and the brush pretty much does all the work for me. Now notice that I'm not sweeping this across my face. I'm patting because once again I don't want to disturb any of that concealing I did, because I do have most of my scarring on my cheeks. So I just lightly kind of pat this on in small little strokes, not rubbing it on, but just lightly patting. And that's key to not disturbing any of that concealing that you did, or that we did. And I make sure to apply it right underneath the pupil, right here, and then blend outward. You never want to go too far in or too high because that will make your face just look red. Just lightly pat that on. Then, while it's still harsh, because it's obviously not perfect right now, I take another Trish McEvoy brush. This is the 48 blending brush. It's a really small angled brush, and I really like this for highlighting. So I use the Hard Candy Baked Bronzer in Tiki as a highlighter. I love this stuff. It's really, really beautiful. It creates a nice golden-y finish, and my skin tone is quite golden and yellow, so I like to use this. So that's the Tiki Baked Bronzer by Hard Candy. I just lightly take a little bit of this onto the tops of my cheeks and onto a little bit of the side and a little bit on my brow bone, just to create a nice glow to the skin, and that just really glistens. So once again, take a little bit of that product onto my brush and just lightly blend on top of that. And what that does is it creates a nice grading effect. So you have a highlighter, the blush, and then the bronzer. So it creates a nice little gradient on your face and makes your face look just so glowy and happy. Now I go back to the blush just in case I lost a little bit of it. Just put a little bit more. And then I take my foundation brush and I just blend out the edges to make sure it's nice and even. Take away a little bit if I have too much. Just make sure that everything is nice and blended. You always want to make sure that your blush, highlighter, and bronzer are blended into your foundation, because if it just looks like a line, it'll just sit there on your skin and it just won't look good. So just make sure to go back with your foundation brush and just lightly blend the ends of it, just to make everything look gradient and seamless. Now I have about 7 birthmarks that I really like. I think people like Cindy Crawford and, other, like Cindy Crawford and, who's the other person that has like birthmarks on their face? I'm not remembering, but people like Cindy Crawford really love their moles, and I really do love my birthmarks and moles, so I like to make sure that they come back. And what I do to get them back is apply a little bit of an eyebrow pencil. But right now I'm really loving this. This is the Milani Eyebrow Tint Pen. It's a felted tip pen, and it just creates lines. It's really simple. It's like using a marker, but it really works beautifully on bringing back these birthmarks. So this is the color Natural Taupe, and what I do is I just lightly create like little circular motions to restore the color of my mole. I used to take a Q-tip and take it off, but my moles are quite small, so it wouldn't work as well. So just do tiny little strokes. Just do a little dot here and there, just to bring them back. Because I really think it's nice to embrace natural marks. If I had freckles, I'd probably do this to all my freckles, but all I have are birthmarks. So just lightly pat it on to get it back. I also think it's important to do this if you have these, because what it does is it makes your skin look a little bit more natural rather than being able to see just glimpses of them underneath your makeup. I think it's better to just show them and bring them back and really embrace your natural beauty. So that's what I do. Moving on to eyebrows, I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz. So with this, I kind of just lightly brush them down. Just to bring some shape back into my brows. I personally quite like a really thick brow. The last thing I'm going to do is curl my lashes and put on mascara, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to curl my lashes with my Trish McEvoy eyelash curler, and I'm going to put my Telescopic by Loreal Shocking Mascara. Love, love, love this stuff. It's amazing. So I'll be right back. And so here is a close-up of the skin. It looks really nice. These products are just amazing. I'll put them all in the below bar, and if I forget to, just leave a comment to remind me and I'll do it. But I love these products. They really do create a really nice, even everyday look for me, and I love them. They really do cover all of my imperfections, and I love it. Just really quickly, mostly every day I wear this lip balm by L'Oreal. This is the Color Rich Lip Balm in Rose Elixir 218. You can see I love it. That's all of it left. But I'll usually just apply this straight from the tube. And what it does is it just gives a nice, soft color to the lip. Just a little bit. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. This was my everyday foundation routine, what I do every day when I go to school, when I go to work, and then I take it off when I go to the gym. I'd use this because it's fairly simple. It gives it gives my skin a nice glow to it, and just really makes it look natural and happy and healthy. So yeah, very, very simple to do and very easy to do. I use drugstore and high-end makeup products, so it's a nice combination of both. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this, like my everyday kind of routines when I go out, or maybe just another version of this, what I do if I'm a little bit more dressier. So leave a comment any other way. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!